dwelling place, the most blessed Trinity, all three persons, are revealed to it in an enkindling of the Spirit in the manner of a cloud of magnificent splendor. Here all three persons communicate themselves to it, speak to it, and explain those words of the love of the Lord in the Gospel, that He and the Father and the Holy Spirit will come to dwell with the soul that loves Him and keeps His commandments. Oh God, help me. How different is hearing and believing these words from understanding their truth in this way. You may think that as a result the soul will be outside itself, so absorbed that it will be unable to be occupied with anything else. On the contrary, the soul is much more occupied than before with everything pertaining to the service of God. Just read her letters, chapter 15, 72, and we will see how occupied she is with everything. And troubles. So then, chapter 2, the Christological fact. With other persons, the favor will be received by another in another form. With regard to the one whom we are speaking, as herself, the Lord represented Himself to her just after she had received communion in the form of shining splendor, beauty, and majesty. And He told her that now it was time that she consider as her own what belonged to Him, and that He would take care of what was hers. So she'd be occupied completely in the things of God, and He would take care of all her concerns. Chapter 3 treats of the great effects caused by this prayer. To the preceding words of Christ, she responds as does St. Paul, "What would you have me to do, Lord?" As in her poem, "What do you want of me?" And she enumerates the four features that characterize the new self. Forgetfulness of self that makes it truly seem that one no longer is, that is no longer I, but Christ lives in me. B, a great desire to suffer, but not in a way that disquiets it as it did, for the desire is extreme that God's will be done in it. These souls also have a great interior joy when persecuted without any hostility to those who do them wrong. The strong eschatological tension ceases. The longing for heaven, and like St. Paul, prefers service. This is what amazes it most of all. All the desires for heaven that she experienced so strongly now cease, and it's more, all this desire, this energy, this force, passion, was for the service, to live for the service of God in the church, to work in the church. Then chapter 4, again the model figures appear. Above all, Christ crucified, His glorious mother, and the apostle St. Paul with his most severe trials, St. Peter, the Magdalene, our father Elijah. The hour has arrived for a sacrificing and unconditional work for the church. What do you think is the reason for these inspirations and other messages the soul sends from the interior center to the people at the top of the castle? That those outside might fall asleep? No, absolutely not. The company it has gives it much greater strength than ever. Do you know what it means to be truly spiritual? It means becoming the slaves of God, marked with His brand, which is that of the cross, as slaves of everyone, as He was. He doesn't thereby do them any harm or grant them a small favor. And again, fix your eyes on the crucified, and everything will become small for you.
Beautiful, Father, just beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Father.
So are there any questions that anyone has, or insight, or wonder?
Do you have an extra copy of that?